welcome back. You're watching the Property Guide on ET Now. Happy New Year to you and your family if you just tuned in. This is our special episode where we're looking as far as we can into 2014 and telling you where you should focus your attention when you're buying property. I have a wonderful panel of guests with me. We talked about a fair number of cities. I want to now talk about the NCR region. It's a massive market. For someone looking to invest in the NCR, where would you like them to focus their energy?
Well, I would say the dark horse again there is Noida and Greater Noida. Considering that Wipro has recently moved their complete campus into Noida from Okhla, we see a lot more action happening in Noida around, locations in and around Noida. So I think in terms of pricing, it's fairly priced. We see good upside from here. One needs to have 3 to 5 year vision taking a call on Noida and specifically Greater Noida. Coming to Gurgaon, that's again basically we are seeing golf course extension, which has been actually picking up in the last few months. And we've seen suddenly more and more site visits happening in this specific location. So we are seeing at this point of time, one should be very careful in terms of going to Dwarka Expressway, which is very, very futuristic. But I think golf course extension is something which you see revival happening there.
What about Southern Periphery Road and things like that? If I were to choose where to invest my money right now, what would you advise?
In Gurgaon?
Yes.
So I would, between the Noida and Gurgaon, I would still bet on Gurgaon. That's one. The reason is, while Noida, in terms of infrastructure, quality, pricing, is really the dark house, like Om said, and I totally agree with him. But in terms of risk and future, Gurgaon, when you look at the economic activity, again, I'm basing my judgment on that. Maximum economic activity, both manufacturing and the services, is happening in the Haryana government and Rajasthan border, and therefore that corridor. And therefore, it continues to have demand while there is a lot of supply. And the prices have gone up much higher, much beyond than the Noida, but it still has more economic activity. So I would change the strategy. I would say stick to Gurgaon. Don't buy the new launches. Buy the secondary market, which is slightly at a discounted value of 20 to 25% in Gurgaon. And therefore stick to that market because it still has the maximum economic activity. And yes, you can go all the way up to, Manesar or Sona Road or indeed towards the Dwarka, provided you're not the late entrant because the prices have gone up. So you need to pick up the project correctly.
Let me bring in Jayashree. She's our voice on the ground. She's actually in Gurgaon right now. Give us advice for those of our viewers who are watching, who are looking to buy in the NCR. What should we keep in mind this year? Where would you like us to focus our energy?
The people who don't have huge budgets are looking at one, Noida extension, which is a little futuristic, but I think not a bad deal. Also, Ghaziabad. Don't write off Ghaziabad. I think Ghaziabad is a very strong, active market, one of the fastest growing markets in the NCR. It still has pockets which are eminently affordable, which is the Rajnagar extension, the Crossings Republic, and infrastructure connectivity is coming up. That is a good place for people with smaller budgets, and it is well connected to the rest of the NCR.
Here's a list of property projects that you can focus on. Remember, if you're in the NCR, then doing a background check on your developer is all the more important. That's what we've done for you. There's a list of projects to focus on. Take a look. Here are recommended properties across the NCR. In Gurgaon, the Melia by Silverglades, Windchance by the Experian Group, and Parkview Grand Spa by Bistec Developers. In Noida Extension, Eco Village 3 and Apex Tower by Supertech, Victory Ace, and Lotus Zing. In Ghaziabad, Mahagun Mascot and Gulmohar Garden by the SVP Group. In Faridabad, SRS Royal Hills and Omax Hills by the Omax Group. All right, finally, before we run out of time, this is only a half-hour show. I also want to talk about Chennai. And it's always been a soft, traditional area where people tend to buy. People already live in Chennai, like to buy in Chennai. But is that changing? Is Chennai turning into the kind of space where investors will focus on?
Well, I would say it's not an investors market. It has primarily been an actual users market. And we continue to see that a lot more action happening in other parts of Chennai, which has been currently happening only in the OMR road. And we continue to see OMR doing well, specifically the Sholinallur area. We will continue to see a lot more action in ECR road, which is now picking up. We've suddenly seen a lot more developments coming up in ECR road, and it's more affordable. Not that what we see the prices currently in what is happening in OMR road, we see similar prices coming up in ECR road.
Sanjay, what about you? There's a lot of action happening around the airport as well in Chennai. Where would you think is the place to bet on for the future?
Bet would still be on OMR, neighboring micro markets. GST road, to some extent, there's a lot of good quality stock coming up, and the infrastructure is improving and the connectivity in Chennai is very good. If you move closer to the city, so Gindi has become a hub in Chennai. So there are certain micro markets within Chennai closer to the city. If you have certain budgets and more, you can go in there. If you have less budgets, you stick. If you want to focus on IT as a sector, then OMR and GST Road. And if you are a low value buyer at low value, then Oragadam and such micro markets work out better for you.
We have a list of properties that you can look at. That's coming up now.
If you're looking to buy a home in Chennai, our experts recommend Orchid Springs by the Allianz Group, Insili Park by Jain Housing, Pristine Acres 2, Phase 2 by the Plaza Group, Embassy Residency, Oceanic by Altus Properties, Vedanshi by Shrishti Foundations, Sri Guru Upasana, and The Point by KSV Developers.
All right, before I wrap up this show, remember this is our New Year special. I want one word of advice from each of you. But for all of the viewers who are looking to buy homes, if it's their first home or their second home, whatever it is, what's your advice for someone buying a home this year?
When you're making a decision to buy or invest, I think one has to really, especially for buyers in Mumbai, don't be fooled by the low price of a developer. Go and see the carpet area that you're getting in Bombay, for example. Are you getting certain areas which shouldn't have been used in the carpet area, for example? So suddenly, it is the overriding principle is that please make sure that you do your due diligence, pay the lawyer, pay the consultant, pay the architect to know what you're buying, and that's key, in my opinion. It's due diligence all the way.
Jayashree, quick word of advice for our viewers this year.
Do your due diligence, check out your facts. You have plenty of places where you get to know what the values are, what the projects are, what the track record of the developer is, what they, how well they have been delivering, and how their projects have been faring in the market. So do your homework. Spend time on the property that you want to buy, and buy now. If you find a good property, buy now. Don't wait because somebody told you values are going to go down any further. I don't think that's happening.
All right, so buy now. That seems to be the unanimous verdict here. And we've given you all of the information you need. If you have any more questions, of course, you can write to us. We'll be here through 2014 to answer all of your questions every week. We're going to do a round of thank yous to our wonderful guests. Happy New Year. Sanjay, thank you for spending time with us. Om, again, Happy New Year to you as well. We hope you have a wonderful year and the market is far more buoyant than the one we just saw. Jayashree, we look forward to spending the New Year with you. Thank you for joining us and Happy New Year to you as well. All right, our email ID is at the bottom of your screen. You'll find a copy of the show on our Facebook page. You can reach me on Twitter. Thanks so much for watching.